Live. Oh. Cameo by the Lincolnshire Fire and Rescue. Who we got on? Who's going to comment first? Good evening, Susan Crowhurst. Evening, Sonia. Good evening, Angela. Can you just give me thumbs up and love hearts, guys, if you can hear us? You should do. Hi, Emma. Hi, Sue. Hi, Heather. Hey up, Kate. Put the pressure on you and Bev, haven't you?
No way we can compete with it.
Thank you, Chris Houlihan, for the 100 stars. Thank you very much. Hi, Susan. Hi, Christine. Good evening, Linda. Hello, John Thompson. 133 on. All coming on. Oh, your mum's on. Hi, Mandy. Yeah, all the thumbs and hearts and everything else. Good evening, Diane. Oh, was we supposed to message them and say that we're going live? They should know. Sue, thank you very much for the 50 stars. Hi, Vicky Price. Good evening, Sammy Mod. Sammy, can you just let us know? Can you hear us all right? Everything all good? Sound? And can hear you loud and clear now. Thank you very much. It's awesome. Thank you for the 50 stars, Amanda. Hi, Kay. Hello, Carol Baldwin. Hi, Leanne. Thank you very much for sharing. Wasn't notified that you were live. Apologies. I think I probably should have sent a message to Rachel. So it's my fault. I'll take blame. Hello, Sarah. Hello, Emma. Thank you very much for the highlights. And what have we got? 198 on at the moment. Hi, Mel. Mel, just while you're on, and I've seen your name, thank you very much for the gloves. We haven't got them. We're cold because Ron and that lot have got them, but thank you very much. I did see that earlier. Thank you for the 200 stars, Sal, and thank you for the 50 stars. Apologies if I get your name wrong. Singer? Or have you? Agnes, because you're writing it different, I think.
We're ready to go?
We've got 200 stars, so we've got 200 people. Wait a couple of minutes. I know you're eager to get on. Sounds perfect. Thank you very much, Debbie. She's had to go on the curb because it's just too short. Okay, not seeing anybody else on. Thank you for the stars already, guys. That's brilliant. Hey up, Macca. How are we? Haven't seen you for ages. Hi, Marie. Hi, Matthew Dickin. I know it's warm. We'll just give it a few more, just one more minute. We'll wait till 25 to, and then we will go round. So, hi, Julie. Oh, it's Senga. Oh, right. Okay. Thank you very much. I didn't butcher it then in my Lincolnshire accent. Hi, Joy. Hi, Margaret. And it's 240 on. Hi, Jill. Just keep sharing it out, guys. Hi, Sue. Thank you very much. 240. Thank you very much, Jill. And yeah, you're going to step now.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Retford Ghost Hunters. As you've seen on the post, it's me and Adam tonight in the beautiful city of Lincoln. We have got a little helper with us tonight because my daughter is at university in Lincoln, so she's come
Say hello.
Hello, Lisa, my little daughter.
She hasn't got any notes on there telling us exactly what to say.
I'm not as good as Bev and Kate. Can't do it. I'm going to be carrying the clipboard around with me. So, when we came to do this, we've got quite a lot to show you, and we're only going to do a small bit of Lincoln. A lot of them are pubs, and the pubs weren't open when I came. The pubs are all open tonight and playing the loudest music you've ever heard. So we've had to start in a different place than where we thought, but it is one of the places on our list. So, stand next to Adam. I'm going to look like I'm not going to be a bit closer. There you go. So I'm going to just hold it. Right. So
hold it.
Yeah, I'm just going to hold it. You're going to be seeing a lot of the places that we're going to be showing you. Me and Adam are going to be behind the camera. So if you don't see somebody, we're just going to hear us talking. We're going to do a bit between us. And we've got Lou here to hold the brolly because it's raining as well. Okay. So everybody, thank you for joining us. Thank you for your stars already. Remember, at highlight, at followers, tag a friend and share. Got it right?
Yeah.
So we'll do a little. You can see.
Can't hear Lisa. Bear with me. Bear with me.
I did drop my mic, so I might
That's why.
break it.
That's why. It's...
I broke it.
No. Don't think so. Do you mind doing the same?
Just bear with, guys. We're just trying to sort out the microphone so you can hear us.
That's not working. Bear with. Right, hold them a minute. Bear with us a second, guys. I just need to.
It'll be better if you can, because you'll be able to hear us a lot better. Because it is raining. There's loud music.
Right, hopefully.
Yeah,
There
we're
we
both
go.
green. There we go. Green for go.
Is that better, guys?
It will be me. I've got double microphone. I feel like I'm on Look North tonight. News at 6. Is that better, guys? Can you all hear me now?
Right, can you hear us, guys? Is that better? Yeah, I can hear you fine. I can hear you fine, Lisa.
Okay.
Let's go then.
Let's go.
Right.
So we have got the beautiful backdrop of the castle, but we are saving that for later. We're going to show you the castle later. So I'm just going to go through a little bit of history. I am going to have to read it off my nose because I can't remember. So Lincoln as a city can be traced back to 300 BC. The first known settlers were lived around what's now called Brayford Wharf. It was Brayford waterfront, and Brayford waterfront, originally they used it as a pool. So in the Celtic translation of pool meant Lindo, which became Linden to what we now know today as Lincoln. They have found in that area and around Brayford Wharf pottery and timber homes that date back to the 1st century. There is a famous artifact that was found. It's called the Witham Shield, and it belonged to a local tribe chief. And it can be seen now. It's in the British Museum, and that dates back to 300 BC. So there's a lot of history. Over the years, the Romans came here, the Vikings, the Saxons, Normans, and they all made Lincoln their home. The Romans first created a major settlement in Lincoln in around AD 50. And it was a wooden fortress that was built on the top of the hill, which is where the castle is now. During this time, one of the most important Roman roads, it was the Fosse Way, that people may have heard of, came through the centre of Lincoln. It was the main Roman road that went from London to York, and there was Ermine Street, which was the main road through the middle of Lincoln. It was built to connect York and London, and the stone walls and gates that were erected around the city, they had an impressive forum and public baths, and a lot of the remains you can still see today, so we're going to be showing those to you later. Norman conquest came to Lincoln in 1066, and the castle was built by William the Conqueror in 1068. When the Domesday Book was commissioned by King William in 1086, that time Lincolnshire was the second most populated county in the kingdom, and Lincoln itself was one of the 4 largest cities. And I've gone all soggy on my clipboard. Bear with. So in 1092, Lincoln Cathedral was consecrated, and when King John placed the seal on the Magna Carta at Runnymede in 1215, a copy was brought back to Lincoln. We're going to go over that a bit later on. The Bishop of Lincoln then, Hugh of the Wells, It was written actually on the back, the words Lincolnia, and it was brought back to Lincoln. And at that time, Lincolnia was one of the biggest dioceses in the country, and it stretched from the Humber all the way to north of the Thames. So we'll go through the Magna Carta later. Throughout the 17th and 19th century, Lincoln had a very healthy wool trade, and its city's cloth became famous in the legend through Robin Hood, who was supposed to have worn garments of Lincoln green. In 1916, the first ever tank was designed and built in Lincoln, giving the nickname to the city Tank Town. And Lincoln was also centre for the aviation industry, where 1 in 14 World War I aircraft were produced in the city. Lincolnshire is known as the Bomber County, with the large number of RAF bases and due to the flat countryside. Lincoln still continues in the 21st century, world leader in engineering and modern universities. It's currently doing now let me get this right, a bio-agricultural, it's basically a robot farm where nobody needs to touch it, and that's being developed in Lincoln University as we speak. So that's just a brief history. You will get a little bit more as we go round, but that's just to let you know where we are. My paper's already soggy.
What I will say is Lincolnshire has got a massive thing for being flat, but it's far from it. It's far from being flat.
It's very not flat, and that's why we're just doing the top of the hill today, because if I go down the hill, I will die on the way back up. It isn't going to happen. It's the biggest hill ever. Yeah. So it is, it's quite hilly, isn't it? Some parts of it on the Foss Way are hilly if you go outside of Lincoln.
Right, where are we off to first?
So we are looking at this impressive building behind us. This is called the Lawns.
Can I borrow your torch?
You can. There you are. The Lawns is a property that was built solely for the purpose of being a hospital for people with mental illness. So it was an asylum, basically. And it opened in 1820. This asylum stands out to some of the others that were built in that time, because the people who built it and the people who were in it were very forward thinking and didn't want to treat people the same way that they did in other asylums. So they were improving and understanding a lot more and not using the barbaric ways that they did in some of the asylums. So they didn't restrain patients, and they used therapy really, rather than... Do you need the umbrella over you?
No, I'm good.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Until my phone dies. Okay, so then it closed as a hospital only in 1985, which is quite recent. And then it was acquired by the City Council and is now a tourist and conference centre, which has got some lovely cafes and things. But there's quite a few buildings. It also has imitation hospital cells with mannequins in there that are supposed to be proper creepy. And can cause people to be scared. Now, there is lots of history of hauntings in this building, so shall we just walk around and have a look, and then we'll see.
I think someone just said I'm distorted. I think that's because my microphone is kind of on the outside. I'm getting wet.
Can everybody hear me?
Are we all hearing everything all right?
I might need to go over on the phone.
Yeah, right, bear with 1 second. There, that should be a bit better. Right, let's go round. Okay. Let's have a wander.
So there's actually, I think there's 3 buildings on this site that were part of the asylum. And like I say, there's lots of, they actually do their own ghost hunts here, I think. There's been reportings of sightings of ghostly figures, of children roaming the corridors, and on the grounds. There's people who've seen ghosts actually just here where we are now on this path. Apparitions have been looking for something. Oh, I've just stepped in a big puddle. There we go.
It wasn't looking for a big puddle.
I wasn't looking. Yeah, the ghosts that have been seen have been frantically searching for something, and nobody knows what they're all looking for. There've been reports of loud crying, wailing emanating from the walls that they think are from former inmates. Ghost hunting teams have known to stay here and have found the ghost of a spirit called Francesca, who was a former inmate, only because she'd given birth to an illegitimate child. Other groups that have been here have felt extreme sadness, and groups have reported problems with electrical equipment in there as well. And also sounds and tapping on furniture and tables.
Okay. I was just waiting for some people to go past, guys.
much light.
Yeah, but Lincolnshire's not flat either, Robert. So, this is obviously, like Lisa was saying, one of the buildings. You can see it's very, very hospital-esque, if that's such a word. How it is.
I think there was originally 4 or 5 buildings, but I think only 3 remain, I think.
So then you've got there, you've got some cafes, Mexican. So you've got another building, part of the building there, and I think it does stem back, which we can
there's another building on the other side.
On the other side, so.
But we've got so much to show you. This is just starters.
We will get round when we get round. So while we're just watching the next one, how is everyone? I hope we're all okay. Thank you very much for joining us on this, I won't say cold, but slightly damp night. We're going to go to the bit where we was going to start, but when we got there was some very loud music, which is no longer here.
Of course, it's stopped now. That's where we were going to start.
We were going to start up there. Are we going to go up that bit?
No, we'll save the castle for when we get round the other side.
Right, we're going to save the castle, guys, so we're going to keep walking round. So obviously you will see people.
Nearly there.
Microphone 2. You might just have to bear with, guys, because so we're just going past some pubs and clubs. Hello to everyone saying hello. Yes, Lou is Lisa's daughter. She's currently studying. What are you studying here? Teaching at the university.
He's studying at Bishop Grosseteste University, which is just further up in the Ermine area, which again was part of the old Roman. We're not going to go up there because it's probably about a mile out the way. But where they are, and you actually had an experience the other day, it's the 3rd most haunted university in the UK. And it's got an old chapel and grounds. And it's got, within a mile radius, 90,000 gravestones.
That's it?
Yeah, within like half a mile. And just quickly tell them the story of you the other day.
I was in the shower and there was I swear there was a ghost, or it seemed like a shadow just stood watching me in the shower. It was there for a split second. But a lot of the people who I live with have heard like noises in the night, like banging and running almost. Yeah. So it's very scary.
Cool. Right. I've moved it, Rach, so.
Okay, so the next place we are coming to is this public house here, which is called the Strugglers Inn. Now, this is the Bailgate area, which again is part of the old Roman settlement. But this pub dates back to 1841, and it was originally called the Struggler Beer Shop. At the time, when hangings were carried out as a punishment, people would gather in the pub to watch the hangings, and they could look at them over at the tower in the castle. So they all hung out here, and it was once run by an Albert Pierpont, who was the hangman in Lincoln at the time. The inn is known to be haunted by a dog of a Lincolnshire countryman called William Clark. He was hanged for murder, and he was hanged for murdering a gamekeeper. And it's said that his dog can be seen walking around the castle walls, looking for its owner, and it sometimes can be heard scratching at the door in the pub. There have been reports that when the dog is ignored, it can be heard barking, and many of the locals have claimed that they've seen a dog figure and have felt it brushing against their legs. Clark, when he was executed, the landlord of the inn at the time felt sorry for the dog and kept it himself. It was a lurcher dog until it died. And when it died, he was actually so distraught that he had the dog stuffed. Is that the right word? Stuffed.
Taxidermy, yeah.
And displayed at the bar. It's pouring now. And it's actually, the dog is still in the Castle Museum within the grounds of the castle. So if you want to come and see the stuffed dog that's a lurcher, it's there for everyone to come and see. And the gravestone of William Clark is also in there, the man who was hanged.
Just let those lovely people come past on a lovely night. So I'll show you in a minute. So obviously we've got a little bit there.
I might need to put that over.
Okay, you alright?
Yeah. Do you want that over the phone? Because my phone will die.
Okie dokie. Right.
No, we're okay. Yeah, as long as you're alright getting that.
So this is the Strugglers Inn.
So you can see the sign.
See the sign, but you can't because of the light on it.
Oh.
There you go.
So this road is known as Balegate, and the Romans, when they came here, most of their, I haven't got any pictures, I could do with bringing it up on a phone actually, their colonia, as it was called, was built on the top of the hill, and basically everywhere you go in Lincoln under street level at the top of the hill is part of the Roman remains. And you can see the castle, how dominating it is.
You've got the castle walls up there, guys.
Let's just do a flit over here because there's a grade 2 listed water tower.
Oh, we're going across there, right?
Yeah, we're crossing
the
road. Lincoln Roman Colonia.
I'll just show you that again, look, guys. The castle walls. That
Lampposts there, look. I thought these lampposts all up here will be really ancient.
No.
And I tried googling them and they were put in 1998 just to make it look old. I mean, there would have been old ones at one time, but I was a bit disappointed by that. Yeah, that's
so the little tidbit for tonight, guys, and some of you seen it, I think I'll both see it first. Yes, I have left the price tag on the brolly. You never know when you have to take it back.
He's only borrowed it for the night, taking it back tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll take it back to work tomorrow.
Yeah, that's
no, I haven't punched it.
A little bit of the, just so you can see what a reconstruction of what it would have looked like, and that's the area that we're going to be walking around and in tonight.
Mm-hmm. So hi to those guys that are coming on. I'm going to apologise for any wind or if the microphones are a bit distorted, but it has decided to.
Now, we're not going to be able to see that, are we?
No, not now.
Hold that a sec, let me see if I can get my torch up.
Right.
No, not really. Just perhaps see the top of it.
Can we not get any closer? Can we not get in? Let's see.
You'll be able to get in. Well, this is just known, it's called the Westgate Water Tower, and it's built in 1911, and it's a grade 2 listed building, designed by somebody called Reginald Bloomfeld in the old Baroque revival style. It stands at 36 metres, or 117 feet, and it was commissioned because there was a typhoid outbreak in Lincoln in 1904. And it killed 113 people in Lincoln. So it used to draw water from the reservoir at Hartsholme Lake and the river Witham, but now they built a new one. But this tank inside is, it holds approximately 1.356 million litres of water and is still in operation today, owned by Anglian Water. So there you go.
Really,
but it's very impressive. If you look up Westgate, the Westgate Water Tower, it is really impressive. Take our word for it, on a soggy Thursday night, it's not. Well, is it both microphones or?
No, supposedly it's just fine.
Oh. Oh, that's it, yeah, just show the picture to the viewers. There you go. That was a picture of the water tower, what it actually looks like. So there you go, the water tower is still in use. It is. If you'd have come on half an hour earlier, they were church bell practicing at Lincoln Cathedral. It sounded lovely. No, you have to wait. You've got to, yeah. We'll do all the outskirts first. We're going to something called the Mint Wall. So we're just going to quickly show you this. Huh? I know I'm very soggy and the paper. Just round this corner, we're not far off. Keep looking at the castle walls. Oh, we've got a castle turret there, look at it. Oh, no, it's okay. Can't really see it.
So there's the castle turret.
It's round the back of the Castle Hotel. It's supposed to be very posh, very nice. Couldn't find any history on that. Every building's got a reputation of being haunted, but this is one of the most hidden parts of the Roman Wall. And it's called the Mint Wall, and it's one of the most significant overlooked Roman remains in Britain, tucked away at the back of the Castle Hotel. We'll go up to it in a sec. It's the largest piece of freestanding, I'm out of breath, I haven't even gone on the steps, freestanding Roman building wall to be seen in the country. The wall's the only surviving remnant of the Basilica, which was the large public hall, which stood at the north end of the forum on that picture we just showed you. And that would have been the central governance for the Colonia. The name Mint Wall is an interesting one because it's said to have originated with a famous Lincolnshire antiquarian, William Stukeley, who thought that the wall was part of a coin minting workshop. However, it's been found that that's not true, that's not the case. So, but it's very difficult to see. It's actually hidden.
What's quite interesting is that where I used to live, there was a fan. There was a primary school after Sir William Stukeley.
Oh wow!
And this actual crypt and everything else is in the church in Holbeach as well.
That's interesting. So you can hardly see it. Look, I've got my torch out, but it's just right hidden. You can see the remains of it behind this new modern wall. But it's
just showing it right down up there. Look, that's the Mint Wall. There we go. We've got. I know. I was going to say there's a history pack here, but it's not.
It's a car park.
It's a car park. Don't tell me everything. So then we've got these guys. Just go and show you these. Alright, I have put my microphone on. I have moved it so it is down and out of the way. I'm just going to leave it now, guys.
We'll go to the next page.
You just have to. We'll have to deal with it. Thank you. And then we've got another one this side as well, which is a bit more overgrown. Look at the state of him, look.
One's lovely, one's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, well, horrific.
I wouldn't mind meeting him in the pub, but him? No, I'd swipe. It's absolutely pouring. Can everybody still hear us alright?
Not certain. Yeah, loads of people are telling me that they can't hear me if I take my mic off.
Right.
And then I've got Rachel and everyone else shouting at me to take it off again.
Where is it?
Right here. I've got it low down, but
I don't understand it. What about keep it on the outside?
right, let's
See if that makes a difference. That's the same as mine now. So,
Yeah.
right. So we're going into this area here now. Are you all right doing that?
Yeah.
Or do you want to do a swap?
No.
Okay. So this area we're going into is called St Paul in the Vale Church and Churchyard. If you want to go and have a look round.
Yeah.
There are a few late Roman Christian churches in England, and Lincoln has claimed to be in one of the sites. The
Right.
archaeology.
Sorry, Lise. There we go. Can you hold that? They reckon it's off. Boss wants it off, so you just have to deal with that talking to me.
I'll stand next to you and then you can hear both of us. You don't want to see us anyway, you want to see the sights. Oh, sorry.
Right. Sorry for swinging you back, guys.
Near the cathedral, it must be 10 o'clock.
It is 10 o'clock. Right, carry on then, Reach.
I'll give you the brolly and then I'll stand next to you and you'll be able to hear both of us.
Thank you.
Okay, so the archaeological evidence is not currently conclusive, but a series of churches excavated within the courtyard of the Roman Forum may have originated from the 4th century. The excavation of this area was done between 1972 and 1978, and that enabled, through the demolition of the church that was standing at that time, to find this site. The last church on the site was of Victorian date, which replaced an earlier Georgian and medieval church, but the excavations in this area revealed traces of earlier churches and possible physical connections to the Roman Forum structure that we were in. The second church in the sequence was of a 17th century and is outlined currently. So if you come into this area, the 7th century church, which was called St Paul in the Vale, was marked out when they rejigged this area. So you can see the outline. You see that? So it's the church outline.
Is that a history board?
There is a history board. There's one here as well.
There's
So
one here.
that shows you a picture of it. I love a history board.
Right,
There you go.
Oh no, I can't see. So, there's welcome to St Paul in the Vale, one of the city and Lincoln's most historic sites, and one of the earliest Christian churches in Britain. Let me have a look. So, the headquarters building of the Roman legionary fortress stood here in the mid-late 1st century AD. It was succeeded by the Forum, the civic centre of the Roman city. The sequence of ecclesiastical buildings began with timber churches built in the courtyard of the Forum, from a date possibly as early as the late 4th century. The plan of the second church is marked out in the modern surface above its former site. The last church was demolished in 1971, like Lisa just said. We've got the guys excavating down there.
So one interesting fact is when they demolished it in the 1970s, the excavations revealed 2 Roman posts to early Anglo-Saxon timber buildings, and at one end of the field was a deposit of human bones. They couldn't find what they were for, but what they think is it may have represented a ritual in the foundation of the new building of the next church. And there are gravestones that were laid flat from that church.
Let's have a look at these then.
So the remaining gravestones.
Oh yeah, wow, look at these. Look. Can't really see
Ancient, some of them.
some of the names. Let's have a quick scout around. Look. Oh, we've got Frances, the wife of Robert Moody. We've got there.
70s, I didn't say a year though, does it?
18th day of, yeah, right next to it, 1883, is that next to it? 18, no, up a bit there, February 1824. We've got Maria Edmund, that's 1831. Is it 18? Yeah, I think so.
I think they are 18th century ones, aren't they? That would tie in with the last church, wouldn't it? With the history board, but you can't really see it and now torches aren't working. You got your
Right, bear with. Can I just check you? Because now they're saying they can't hear you.
Because it's raining, I think. I think we've gone soggy.
So again, that's all the rest of the gravestones and everything else, guys, that they've done. Right, thumbs up if you can hear. Laser sounds on and off. We're getting really rained on. Get thumbs up if you can hear Lisa now. Everything's on there. Right, you hold that for me. Turn them off.
No. Okay. I'll stand next to you and shout. They don't want to see me anyway.
Right, I'm going to turn. Taking the mics out, guys. So I think it's mainly because of the rain. So bear with while I get this sorted. Bear with. Right. Can you hear us now? We've got no mics on whatsoever. Can you hear us? Is that what you're... No, that's just... Guys, just let us know. Thumbs, hearts and everything. Just let us know now we've taken the mics out. Can you hear us? Lisa, can you talk a minute?
Can everybody hear me?
Anybody, mods? Just got everyone saying evening.
We'll just go with it and I'll
We'll have
shout.
to... Yeah, it's going to be, have to be low.
Go with it and I'll shout. I'll stand next to you.
Right, I'll hold that again. Thank you very much.
Okay. So next to here, and again within the what would have been the Roman settlement here, is, I'll put my hood down so you might hear me better, is what's known as, well, it was a Roman well. So we'll go and have a look. They, again, when they were excavating this in the 1970s, they discovered this well. I've got a lovely notice board that shows it. It was a reused Roman well and well head on this side, but they weren't fully excavated until 1984. Let's have a look at the board.
Yeah, let's have a look at the board.
Better than actually down the well. It appears to have been dug during the second phase of the Roman activity on this side.
This is about the well. This is about...
Oh, that's about the forum, so that does explain what they would look. That's what they were originally. So this was known as the Linden Colonia, built in the late second and third. So that's what it would have been like at the top of the hill. And this is the forum within it. And there's a little picture there of the well head.
Yeah, you're just going to have to...
So it was dug up during the use of the Roman forum, but the well may have continued into use post-Roman and early Saxon when the first timber churches were constructed on this same site. It suggested that it may have had ritual use during this period, so let's have a look. And it provided the holy water for the church, and it's the reasons why many of the early churches are sited here next to the well. Eventually it was covered over and forgotten, and it appears that it was filled in during the medieval period.
Oh, keep your talks like that because you can see it. There we are. There we go. So you can see it. Random ladder. You can see part of it.
So it was I'm standing right next to Adam. So it was rediscovered in the early 14th century, possibly during grave digging, and a big pit was dug down to the Roman wellhead, which lay very deep down, and the well was then cleaned out, removing all the Roman and possibly Saxon fill, and a new stone wellhead was constructed. The well, when they dug it out, contained fragments of stained glass, lead, and basically they reckon it was filled with everything from what was in the old church that they dismantled.
Yeah, it was some pub goers that had just come past. That's what sounded like a witch. It wasn't. I will debunk that. It wasn't a. There wasn't a witch here. I can promise you. So this is the well at St Paul in the Vale. So we've got a window light, lead from that, which would have looked like that.
A wooden bucket.
And a wooden bucket. And an old shoe that was found as well.
That was a 17th century shoe.
And then this would have been what the... Well, would have been like. Yeah, sorry guys, obviously we can't help the weather. They've obviously got to microphones as well, to the point that they can't do a lot. So you're just going to have to bear with. We do apologise, guys, and I would say that we'll end up doing a part 2 because we won't get around everything tonight. And hopefully it's a lot better night when we do part 2. But if we do it again, we will probably go over and re-go over some of the parts that we was doing. So where are we off to next?
So we are heading down to one of the old Roman arches. There's a couple of things on the way down that we can have a look at.
Right.
With the disappointing lampposts that I thought were like Narnia ones.
No. The only one there is, which you will, if we get to it, that is we're stopping here.
Yeah.
Right.
So underneath, as we said, there are so many remains that still haven't been excavated, but in this area the base of the Roman portico was discovered on this area, and I've done these maths on the thing, and it was 1878 when they were found, and they're behind that, which is now a residential property, so we won't hang around too much.
Yeah. Is it stopped?
Stopping, it's stopping.
It's stopping.
It might get better.
It might get better.
Keep dipping. Yeah. Okay, well we'll see how it is. We'll give it another 10 minutes, and then if we have to abandon.
Well, if not, we'll just have to probably come back on my phone and you guys will have to listen to ticking. Although some of you said that you didn't get it, so I don't know.
So this is known as Balegate. Balegate's very ancient. This was an old Roman road. This here, just for out of curiosity, was the old Barley Mow pub, and it was there in 1823 and known as the Pheasant Inn. Then it changed its name to the Barley Mow in 1900 and closed in 1905, and it's been a residential property since, but they've kept the sign up.
Kept the sign. Nice that. Nice that they've actually wanted to keep a bit of history up there.
But all these are ancient. There's remains under all of them, and Lincoln is one of the only cities where they've used some of the old remains. So some of these bricks would have been some of the old Roman remains.
Yeah, well, it's just come.
And built again the residential property, so we've got to be a little bit careful.
Yeah, a little bit careful, guys, but yeah.
So where we're heading now, it's called Newport Arch, and it is probably one of the most famous Roman remains in Lincoln, and is definitely one of the best preserved. It dates to the start of the 2nd century AD, and it is the only Roman archway in the UK that modern traffic still travels through.
Nice.
It gave access from the city to Ermine Street, which was on the main Fossway between London and York. And its famous Roman arch, the opening allowed, sorry, just bear with me, it was built to mark the establishment of the Colonia and the retired legionnaires in the 3rd century, so that's why it was built. Can't see it very well again tonight.
Yeah. Just shine your torch on it and you should be there. We go.
You've got your torch as well, Liz.
I'll bear with. Wait for the car to come past.
We can go up to it actually because the markings on the road are where it originally would have stood. So we can't stand in the road, but they have marked out. Yeah.
So this is the arch. Oh, if you do that, Lee, that's brilliant. There you go, guys. So that's the arch. Just shine it across the other side. Stunning.
In the 4th century, the city walls were strengthened, and at that time, Newport probably consisted of a central arch for traffic. It had 2 smaller pedestrian arches either side, and would have had above it towers, so it would have had twin towers either side of it. so it would have been really impressive. It would have risen to a height of 26 feet above the ground level, but the arch is now all that remains of the upper section of the inner arch. The outer section was destroyed in the 17th century. There's no history at any time that this has been attacked at any time during the Romans, but it was assaulted in by medieval knights in the 13th century. And then if we just go to the information board, because there's a picture of what I'm going to explain.
Bear with. Pretty certain you're Sweden, but carry on.
So you can see there's a little bit of damage to the arch.
Oh, we can go. Even a little walkway, look.
Yeah, there would have been two of those originally, and it would have gone up to a big tower.
Look at that, stunning.
But in 1964, a lorry that was carrying fish fingers got stuck underneath the arch and dislodged quite a lot.
Fish fingers, really?
Yeah, fish fingers, there's a picture of it and everything. Look.
Oh, God.
I'm so excited. It's on the kids' bit. There you go, a fishy story.
Fishy story, guys. So, 1964, the Newport Arch was almost 1,964 years old, but it nearly didn't survive after that. A lorry that was too tall tried to get through and knocked many of the archway stones down. According to legend, the lorry was carrying a load of fish fingers, so you could say that these were very destructive little fingers. Wow.
There's a picture of the front of the lorry there, look, as well. You can see what damage it did.
Wow, it definitely took it some out there. And that's what a drawing of what it would have looked like, look. A reconstruction of the Roman North Gate. And then this is from 1890s as well.
Yeah, so that is the Newport Cottage wall. So a fragment of the wall is in the garden of the cottage, which is a residential cottage right next door, and the arch, the Newport Cottage wall, is part of the original Roman wall. Dating back to the 4th century. I bet not many people have got them in the front garden, have they? Look what's on there, an old-fashioned lamppost.
What they would have looked like.
What it would look like.
Where are we off now, Lise?
Back up this way.
We're off back up this way.
We're going to get to some ghosty stories now.
Oh, lovely. That's all we all like. So again, guys, I do apologise for sound. We can't help the weather. I was hoping that the microphones would make it a lot better, but obviously them getting wet has spoiled that as well, so I do apologise.
Well, just while we're walking down, there is only one, we're going to
carry on.
Only one story of a ghost at the archway, and apparently a mob were chasing somebody that they called Spring-Heeled Jack. Quite a few years ago, I think it was like 1920s or something like that. Anyway, jumped onto the arch. This mob, the Spring-Heeled Jack, was shot by the people who were pursuing him, the mob, and the bullet had no effect on him, and he disappeared, and the bullet went through where he actually was.
Wow, awesome. We'll just angle it down a little bit, guys, while we go.
Yeah. Walk down to it a little.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for your support on this. I know people are saying don't need to apologise, but we do, because we try and put what we can, the best we can out for you, and you know, sometimes we can't help it, sometimes we can. We just hope you're enjoying it. Yeah, I know we can't quite hear Lisa, but I'll try and do as much.
I'll shout.
In a minute, I'm going to swap over and take over. Oh, Lisa, just 1 second, just stay there. Just stay there, that's better. Screenshot that, thank you. Thank you, Sharon, for that.
And one other interesting fact is that wall at the stone cottage, 4 feet can be seen of it now, but originally it would have stood 20 feet high. That's how much we've built up since the Roman time.
Wow.
So, the next place we are at are the famous Lincoln Assembly Rooms. So these were built in 1754, as you can see.
45.
45, sorry, my spelling on here. And it had additions added in the early 1914. It's got lots of suites, famous suites, assembly rooms. The Queen has visited here on 2 occasions. The last time she came was in 2000 for Maundy Money. It's got two famous balls which they don't have anywhere else in the country. One is called the Stuff Ball, as you do, and it's held here. It's been held here since 1788, and it was to do with the wool trade. And basically, you were allowed to come if you were a lady and you were wearing Lincoln wool of a new colour every year. That tradition died off, and then they started it again in the 1980s. And then there's something called a cake ball, which was 19th century edition. And in this event, they used to have a large cake that was brought into the ballroom. It contained 1 silver coin, and it was sliced up, and whoever got the coin, the man, was elected king, and he could choose a lady as his wife. Now, there has been lots of ghost sightings here. The famous one is a phantom cavalier, and he's supposed to be spotted by staff members actually in the ballroom, walks around and vanishes in thin air, and there's lots of noises in the basement, and staff won't go in there because of a strange feeling and noises and footsteps.
Cool. Right, I'm just going to step over here so the guys can see it in all its glory. So there you go, guys. That's the assembly rooms. Again, stunning architecture above the wall. Wait for the car to go past. There we go. There we go.
Want to do a swapsies?
Yeah, let's do a swapsies. So you hold that. That's charging it very nicely. I don't know where you want to put that. That is 3 more.
I want to put it.
There is 3 metres worth of cable that you've got to try and hide as well.
Oh, yeah. That's quite a lot for me. Right, hang on, I'll shove it in that pocket. Hi guys, can you hear me now? I'm so sorry about this tonight, it hasn't gone to plan. We're all a bit soggy.
Nearly an hour.
Yeah, probably the same to go again.
And it's probably
You
better
bear with
because I
us.
can shout a little bit.
And the rain's stopping a little bit now, so we just look like drowned
We're now
rats.
going to the Lion and Snake pub, as you'll see just coming up. So the Lion and Snake is an ancient, partly timber frame pub that is said to be the oldest in the city and is Grade 2 listed. It's been a licensed bar for over 600 years now and was in the centre of an old Roman colony. The property has had many names from 1649 when it was called the Ram, to the Earl of Scarborough's Arms, to the Red Lion, and now to the Snake, and then to the Snake, and then there's also been known as Lion and Snake since 1834. So, the ghosty bits. The pub is said to be haunted by a Roman soldier in the cellar. He is said to be a shy ghost and is seen now and again. People have reported hearing marching soldiers and the sounds of chariots while sat in the pub. This is a very common report in the uphill part of Lincoln. The most well-known ghost in the Lion and Snake is the Granny with the Bun.
Granny with the bun, that's like me when I'm getting ready for bed.
Owners have accepted her presence for over 30 years and believe she is harmless. She is regularly seen walking about in the upstairs quarters, and when the residents squeeze against the wall to let her pass, she simply acts as if they are not there. Dogs have been growling at her, and as though she's in front of them, but there never is. In the 1980s, a relief landlord reported leaving the bathroom in his towel, only to see an old lady with a bun passing through the corridor. He leant fully against the wall to move out of her way, and she continued past him. He later found out many others have seen the same thing, and that the woman is in fact the pub's resident ghost. Another story is that of an old man who can be seen enjoying a drink at the far end of the bar. Staff have been incredibly frustrated as they attempt to get a closer look at him. He gets up and then dissolves straight into the wall, meaning no one can describe him in detail. All they know is he looks dishevelled.
Oh, we look dishevelled tonight. We can pass as ghosts. You can see it's an old timber frame building, guys. You can see that, which is quite common. When they've got the sticky out bit.
I always call them step buildings. Step out.
The sticky out bit. Yeah. Sure, there's a technical thing that somebody will be able to tell me. Yes, we should be, yes.
So we're off to the White Hart.
It's just round this corner.
Again, even though they're not now, but these would have been cobbled.
Yeah, they would originally.
Would have been all nice and cobbled.
And you can see all the buildings.
Thanks.
Anybody want to buy any material?
Absolutely.
I don't know. I didn't get him on purpose.
Right, so the White Hart Hotel. There has been an inn on the site of this hotel since the 15th century, and the oldest part of the building dates back to 1710. Many famous faces have stayed at the hotel over the years, including the then Prince of Wales, who had lunch at the hotel in 1925, and the yeoman of the guard, who stayed at the hotel during the Maundy Thursday celebrations at the cathedral. One of the most notable spectres at the hotel has been on many occasions by guests and staff. A highwayman was killed in the former stables by a coachman who thrust a torch into his face. The stables are now the Orangery restaurant, and the highwayman has been seen flitting through the restaurant on occasions, hiding his face with his cloak. The restaurant is also known for being unusually cold.
Ooh, spooky.
So, another ghost at the hotel is called the Mob Cap Girl, who was a maid at the hotel who caught the attention of the hotel's rat catcher. She spurned his advances and he brutally murdered her. The girl has been seen on the first floor landing of the hotel, cowering in the corner. One of the rooms in the hotel was the scene of an untimely death when one of the guests committed suicide there in the 1960s. Although no spectre has been seen in the room, a feeling of sadness is often felt in that room, and the ghostly sobbing has been heard with no one there. And then staff have also reported seeing an elderly woman in a period dress walking down one of the lower floor corridors before disappearing before their eyes. In another of the lower floor corridors, staff have reported a feeling of being followed, as well as feeling of unease, and only to turn around to find no one behind them.
Ooh, spooky. Look at that clock, guys. Let me just show you that clock on the side of the building. I've got no history on that, but... And you see that with me being little? That's ace, isn't it? Clock with a white heart on top. Don't you love a highwayman story? Well, I do anyway.
Right, so where's the next bit?
So we're going down to this Pemberton...
Lee Pemberton House, is this on the corner?
Yeah, Lee Pemberton House is called, on the corner. I mean, there's loads of history in all these buildings, but we've got to try and condense tonight.
I remember this. I believe there's a plaque on the side of the wall.
There is, yeah. Ooh, big slip.
You might remember Lisa saying earlier about...
You can't really see the White Hart, can you? Look at that old building as well, that's an old church.
About the Magna Carta. So there is a pub called the Magna Carta. And we'll talk about the Magna Carta in a bit, I believe. Go up to the castle.
Yeah, we will. So this is the house, this is the Lee Pemberton House. Which I can't really get in. I'll stand back in a minute because we're going to go for Wi-Fi. What do I do? Oh, there we
Wi-Fi
go.
you on?
I must be on local Wi-Fi. We're back, guys. Sorry.
So you've got Lee Pemberton House. It's a half-timbered Tudor house originally built for the merchant in 1543. It was a bank from 1899 until 1979. It was eventually given to the City of Lincoln by the chairman of the National Westminster Bank, Sir Robin Lee Pemberton, late Governor of the Bank of England. It underwent extensive restoration in 1929 and 1970.
There's a plaque on there as well telling you the same thing as well. Look at that doorway. How cool's that? And it's currently the Tourist Information Centre. But look at the old timbers. And the plaque that's basically just telling you the same as what we've told you.
Nothing really more. Built in 1543, yeah, so no more than what it was.
Yeah, it stands directly over the Roman street. And that's again where the Linden Colonia would have been.
It's now the Visitor Information Centre.
Yeah.
So, 100 facts about Vikings.
100 facts about Vikings. Lincoln in Roman times. Magna Carta. We're coming up to that now. The castle, which is that there, Castle Hill Club, building to the left. Sorry guys, I'm swinging you about. It's cobbled, as you can see in this area. This is the front of the castle, and it's quite it's used quite a lot. One of the facts of Lincoln is it was the first place in the UK to have a Christmas market in 1985. There you go, I remembered that one. Yeah, and it used to be here. So let me just show you the sign on the side of this building.
I believe it used to have to start in the market here. I'm sure you used to have to, you could go to the other end of the market, but there used to be barriers. I remember doing it one year and we had to walk all the way up to here, and you had to literally start inside the castle.
Right.
And then come round and then drop down.
Right.
I don't think they did it many years, but they did it for 1 year, I think.
Right.
1 or 2 years anyway. Right, so we'll just come.
Because there's people coming out the club. There you go. So this is the Castle Hill Club.
So we've got the Castle Hill Club. Although there are recordings of a building on the site of the Castle Club right back to the...
Lost connection. There we go.
It's on that Wi-Fi somewhere.
Yeah, back to 4G.
That's better. It is very likely that this building or a different one was situated in a location for hundreds of years before, because of the situation of the plot between the castle and the cathedral. The earliest records of the building as it is today were a pub in a document dated 1745. Most of the building has been changed over the years, particularly after the 1700s, but a few of the original features remain the same, such as the chimney stack in the hall of the building. Three houses. Oh.
Ah.
Yes.
Oh, right.
Oh, right.
Okay. So you will know. Right.
Of that, because
Right.
and of course possibly earlier before that as well.
Brilliant.
Yes, there's 3 houses here.
3 houses
Three
are
houses.
there. You heard it from the man who runs the property. Thank you very much for that. So you can see there, look. Near this gentleman, he's saying the hangman who used to go to the castle, used to stay in the building.
But the hangman, but that place in there is only around about 1850. We're talking about the prison in there and the
Yeah.
hanging in there. But he came here and stayed upstairs.
Right.
Nice.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Right, okay. Okay, well thank you.
Side of things. Several ghosts have support the Castle Hill Club. There's one particular captured people's attention. The ghost known as the Bottom Pincher.
Oh,
Pushed away until a couple of their back turned and pictures were born.
you didn't miss anything, Cheryl. He was just telling us basically the same as what Adam's just told you, but he owns it, so he wanted a little talk, bless him.
Another less famous ghost in the building is said to be that of William Marwood, 1820 to 1883, who was the former hangman at Lincoln Castle, just across the square. He's not said to inhabit the building, merely to visit sometimes, as he would have done in the hanging days when the Castle Hill Club was a pub. He was apparently been sat looking out of the room where he used to stay, which is a window on the east side of the building.
Ah, so that. Is that a person? What's that over there? Is that a statue?
That is a painting or a cutout.
Oh, I thought it was big ghosts. I thought it got full on apparition. Asking you to do screenies and everything. Don't know if you can see that. It's just some random statue of, looks like a soldier with walking sticks.
Bring it up, there's a
There we
little
go.
round bit up there. So,
Here we are.
at Lincoln Castle.
So you
So-
can't see. You used to be able to see in, but let's just walk up and you can't really see at all, can you? But yeah, we've got a bit of history. Oh, look at the cannons. Let's do it by the cannon. Look at them.
By the cannon. So, built almost 1,000 years ago by William the Conqueror, Lincoln Castle has witnessed some of the most dramatic events in English history. After William the Conqueror's victory at the Battle of Hastings in 1066, he faced continuing resistance and ordered the construction of a castle at Lincoln as part of his strategy to control the rebellious north of the kingdom. The castle's commanding position provided great views, and it has also served as a reminder to the local population that the Normans were in charge. Centuries earlier, the Roman invaders had built their legendary fortress on this hilltop. In 1068, the Normans constructed their moat and bailey castle, reusing the remaining stone walls of the later Roman city, Lindum Colonia. The castle walls were built in stone in the late 11th century, replacing the temporary wooden structure. Lucy Tower, a permanent stone shell, replaced the first wooden keep on the Earth Mound. So battles and sieges here. So Lincoln Castle bears the scars of the bloody battles fought by opposing forces who sought control of the strategically important stronghold. In 1141, while King Stephen was occupied in a war with his cousin Matilda over the English crown, he fought to take back control of the castle after it had been claimed by Ranulph, Earl of Chester.
Ranulph. Cool name.
During the battle, which came to be known as the Joust of Lincoln, Stephen was captured outside the castle and taken to Matilda as a prize and imprisoned. Only when Matilda's half-brother was captured 7 months later in exchange for Stephen was the king restored to the throne. 50 years later, under the leadership of Lady Nicola LaHaye, the castle withstood a 40-day siege by Richard I's Chancellor Longchamp when he demanded the loyalty of supporters of the king's younger brother, Prince John. Nicola, in her own right as constable, defended the castle again in 1217 during the civil war that followed King John's refusal to honour the Magna Carta in 1215. During the hostilities, rebel barons allied themselves with Prince Louis of France and seized control of swathes of England, including the city of Lincoln. But the castle, a royal stronghold, held out against the French forces and rebel barons. The battle was of national significance and turned the tide of the French invasion. If the Royalists had lost, England could have come under French rule. Lincoln Castle was besieged for the first time in 1644 during the English Civil War, when the Royalists holding it were overwhelmed by a mightier parliamentarian force. So, royal visits. We have King Henry II visited Lincoln several times in the late 12th century. Archaeologists have discovered an astonishing range of bird, fish and animal bones from swans to conger eels, oysters and venison in a medieval rubbish pit, perhaps the remains of a lavish feast held in his honour.
Oh, the ex-swans.
King John spent several days at Lincoln in September 1216, shortly before he lost his jewels and baggage in the incoming tide of the Wash. Within 2 weeks of his visit, he died of dysentery at Newark Castle. Over 300 years later, in August 1541, King Henry VIII, accompanied by his young Queen Catherine Howard, rode at afternoon to the castle and did view it and at the city as part of the royal visit on his way to York. Now we're on to the Magna Carta.
Let's just walk back down to... Oh, there's another one there, look. Sorry guys about the sound, anyone who's just jumping on. We've had a few problems with the rain affecting the phone and microphone, so you'll just have to bear with.
I think we'll do it in the
Yeah,
square.
so we're going to go and walk over into the square because there's a bit more light here, and there is a pub called the Magna Carta, which is very relevant because that's the next bit. Oh, they've turned the lights off on the cathedral, can you believe? It were all pink a minute ago.
In the little centre.
Sneak peek.
I'll stay here then. So we've got the... I'll do it so we can see it in the Magna Carta. So on 15th of June 1215, it said that King John and the barons met at Runnymede and agreed a charter of liberties that would change the course of history. Magna Carta enshrined the principle that the king had to act within the rule of law.
How do I... There we go, we're back on.
In history, with enduring... Right, move over the side.
Okay. I'm going to get run over. There we go.
The celebrated document is in history with enduring worldwide influence. In 1217, Magna Carta was reissued with some of the original clauses incorporated into a second charter, Charter of the Forest. It is at this point that the original charter assumed the name of Magna Carta, meaning Great Charter, to distinguish it from the second, smaller charter. Over 40 copies of the document were made and sent out to officials across England. However, only 4 remain in existence today. 1 at Lincoln Castle, 1 at Salisbury Cathedral, and 2 at the British Library in London. The King's Great Seal was stamped on each copy, making it an official document. Hugh Wells, Bishop of Lincoln, was present at Runnymede, and it is he who returned with a Lincoln copy of Magna Carta, which is now on permanent loan to Lincoln Castle. Lincoln Castle is now the only place in the world where an original 1215 Magna Carta and the 1217 Charter of the Forest can be seen side by side on permanent loan from the Lincoln Cathedral. The Charter of the Forest. How is the Magna Carta different from the Charter of the Forest? Unlike the Magna Carta, which dealt with the rights of barons, the Charter of the Forest addressed the rights of the common man. It restricted the amount of land that the king could claim for private use and restored the right of common access to national resources. Castle dungeons and everything.
Yeah, there's a lot that you just want to briefly just...
Obviously in there, is the dungeon still there? Or is that part of the prison there?
I'm not sure. But there's prisons on the ground today.
Yeah, so you've got Castle dungeons, William Chaldwell, a royalist prisoner.
Hey buddy, I'm trying to go to sleep, yeah?
Sorry, mate.
Just getting moved along. Like I said, there's lots of residential houses here, so someone's just moved us along. Although we're in a public square. We are heading down that way in a minute, so. And we're right next to a pub, so I'll just show you the cathedral there. We're okay here. So yeah, if there's a bit about the ghosts, we can go about all what's in there. But it's definitely worth a visit, guys, just for the buildings and the castle when it's all lit up. It's amazing in there. Proper day out. And it's not that expensive. You can pay to come, and it's like an annual ticket. So once you've paid, you can come as many times as you like for the year. So we'll just do this one here. There's just a pie shop down here.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that bit. So obviously horns into the castle. There is a lot, as would have been for a castle that's going to get...
Yeah, that bit is where we've just been. There's a bit about the horse. That's why we were coming here, because in this area there was someone who was coming home from a shift.
Go and find it. At the top of the steep hill outside the castle gates, a night worker returning home early in the morning was unnerved as a man riding a black horse charged by him. As the rider approached the locked castle gates, he screamed out, "Open the gates," before vanishing near the closed entrance.
And then people here breathing on the neck and things in the same area. So this is part of the famous steep hill in Lincoln. And by God, it is steep. It's very steep. We can't walk down it tonight because if I get to the bottom, I won't be able to get back up. So we're just going to go to this one area here. Adam might walk you down to show you down Steep Hill, but I can't. No, we'll do history on Steep Hill.
So this is probably the site of one of Lincoln's most famous ghosts. And it's made, I think it's made TV, local TV, national TV. And here is the spirit of a young boy called Humphrey. He's thought to haunt the building, and he's been known to cause quite a lot of mischief when people are inside, especially if he's being ignored or he feels like he's being ignored. So much so that the staff are now taught, and obviously have done over the years, that every time that they go in, they are to greet him every time entering the restaurant to acknowledge his presence, so that he doesn't start getting us up to mischief. Someone once failed to say hello as they walked through, and a knife was thrown across the floor.
Lovely. And there's also this site here was Lawrence of Arabia. On this site in 1925, soldier and author T.E. Lawrence lodged whilst serving at around this time he wrote his book Seven Pillars of Wisdom, the legendary account of the leadership of Arab insurgents against the Turks in Syria during World War I. So there.
Yeah.
Cathedral.
How many still got on?
We've not got many on tonight, only 200, but that might have stuck. Still a few.
Let's just stick in with us, guys.
Look at that building, you can see it from here. Look how cool that looks.
Yeah, it's amazing.
There is, but I haven't got that in this today because there's so much on that and this church and all sorts. We need a part 2 when it's not raining. You're right, you blue. We've turned the lights off as well. It was lovely earlier. Right, let's get all the torches on it, see what we can see. There we go.
So we are at the most famous Lincoln Cathedral. The earliest parts of the current building date to 1072 when Bishop
A bishop.
Yeah, Bishop Difflicamp moved his seat from Dorchester on Thames to Lincoln. The building was completed in 1092, but severely damaged in an earthquake in 1185. It was rebuilt over the following centuries in the Gothic style. The spectacular Gothic buildings once held the records for the world's tallest building for over 2 centuries, from 1311, overtaking the Great Pyramid of Giza, until 1549, when the spire collapsed in a storm. Despite the cathedral's dramatic scale, there are many small and intricate hidden surprises to discover, including the famous Lincoln Imp. The Lincoln Imp has become the city's best-known emblem. The story goes that the imp was making mischief and threw stones at an angel, who promptly turned him into stone. Hollywood has even paid a visit to Lincoln Cathedral in recent years, when parts of the Da Vinci Code, which was a Dan Brown book, and then it was a film that was done with Tom Hanks, in which the cathedral acted as a body double for Westminster Abbey, and the young Victoria were filmed in the Chapter House. So,
which is the quickest way to Greece. Oh yeah, with the Bishop's Palace round here. We'll just do this bit. So it was lovely earlier. It was all lit up and there were church bell ringing. Yeah, I don't know which way it is, whether it's, just bear with me guys, it's massive this. It could take us an hour to just walk around here, but you can see all the buildings. We don't want to shine torches too much, but let me just show you that as well. That's the entrance to it. How cool's that? It could be this. Is it this archway here? Yeah. I'm sure it's this archway. We were just trying to find an archway, but you can see how huge it is. Torches. Why's my torch not working? There we go. It is. It's lovely inside as well. Again, it's well worth a visit.
So, there's the cathedral. Cathedral is some of the most memorable and prolific. In the 1960s, a woman named Constance leapt from one of the cathedral's towers to her death, and some nights you can see her reenacting that fateful event. So there is also a 17th century holy man walking the halls of Lincoln Cathedral with chains hanging from his neck. He climbs the steps leading into the building, perhaps to join the ghostly procession of monks. Oh wow, I'm saying it.
Monks!
Monks that some people have reported seeing. One of the most damaging events in Lincoln history was the can't read it now. Bubonic plague in 1349, the Black Death swept over Lincoln completely, overwhelming the city residents. As the population decreased so rapidly, the space for corpses became limited. And I think it's this bit here that we're coming up to now. As the population, the church couldn't keep up with the amount of people that needed to be blessed and buried. As the death toll continued to increase, the bodies were piled up and given a mass burial grave, which I believe is this bit here.
Yeah. I think it's on this area here, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's in this bit here. I might be wrong. And on the anniversary of the plague, there is some reports and have been reports that people have been seen coming out from the grass and going to trying to get into this doorway and this archway here to try and get themselves blessed so they can go back up to heaven.
That's ace, isn't it? Can't really see in this. You can see all around. There's gravestones and memorials. There you go. Let's just show you that. Have any more torches? So, we all got them. That's 3 torches. Wow. Okay. Right. So it is massive. So the other bits we're going to show you are just around the cathedral. Is everyone still okay? Yeah. Can you hear us? Thank you for sticking. Yeah. Oh yeah, look at that. See right through there, look. Into another area. I'm not sure where the Lincoln Imp is. I think it's actually inside the cathedral, isn't it? I was going to say it used to be and they moved it. So you do actually need to go into the cathedral to find the imp now. And lots of things in Lincoln are named after... There's a pub near your university called the Lincoln Imp. There's a really rubbish football team that are nicknamed the Imps.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Yeah, you see, we just show you as we go round. You can see how vast it is and how it would have been one of the biggest back in the day. Huge. So pretty. Yeah, so we're going to do hanging a right. This is another area that's lovely. If you do visit Lincoln, it's like Cathedral Square with all the cathedral houses that would have belonged to the church. So people who were vicars and canons of the church would have lived in them. I think some of them are still used by the cathedral. That's the archway. Let's just quickly... Yeah, it is.
So basically, obviously, I think this was one of the main entrances at the time, and the bodies obviously were just piling up. They couldn't get them blessed with blood. So around in this sort of area, they would have just been piled up, and it's from here people are seen going into here to try and get blessed and go from purgatory, from being in between hell and heaven and hell.
Lovely. So we're heading down that way. We've got Bishop's Palace, but if we get a chance, we'll do that on the way back. So because we're running a little bit later than we thought, we're going to bypass a couple, see if we get time on the way back, but we're heading to, I think, if people have watched us for a while, might have seen us do a hunt here a couple of times. Oh, did you nearly just slip then? Nearly had a daughter down.
And if anybody can remember us doing a hunt here, can anybody put in the comments, and a bonus point if you can remember it, what happened that night that was hilarious?
It was absolutely hilarious.
And no cheating by any of the team or mods and that lot. They can't partake, it's only viewers only.
I've got to walk back up here. This isn't a steep hill, but I was nearly dying when I walked down here the other day.
Yeah, we've walked this.
So you'll have to have the camera back then, while I sort of die in the background. But these buildings have all got history as well. We've got loads on these.
Yeah. This is going to be part of part 2 because there's car park not far from here.
Yeah.
And you can actually park round near the cathedral anyway. And it's,
these lampposts, look, the replica lampposts all over the top of the hill. Has anybody remembered? Yeah, Christine Greaves, Sherwood, Susan Crowhurst, they've all remembered.
what was it?
The ball rolling down the stairs. I know, Maria, I'll need an oxygen tank. And here we are, look. Greystone Place. That's one of the original cobbles, look. Creepy cobbles.
So what we'll do is we'll go to the archway and then we'll talk there.
It's just a bit steep. Bear with, guys. Oh, got the little run going on. Slippy run. Oh, there's a handrail. I'm all right now, I've got a handrail. Yeah, so we did a hunt, and I think it was Rachel who kicked the ball, and the ball,
She put it down.
and it just went,
Down and it
and it just carried on going, flashing the whole way down. It was so funny.
So, go on to there is.
That's an old one. I've got a bit of a lamppost obsession.
So there is 3 main stories, but I've got a 4th, which I brought out, which I found about during one of the hunts. I don't think it was the one with the flashy ball, I think it was another one. But Rachel was picking up on something, but I'll come to that in a minute. I'll come to the main one, which kind of ties in the flashy ball. So, at a saint called St Hughes, and after his St Hughes's death, he was announced. It was only after his death that he got announced as a saint. His body was cut up and sent to different cathedrals around the world, but his head stayed in a chest in Lincoln Cathedral on a bed of gold and gems. Obviously, the news of of his head being there, and obviously what was in the chest with his head, spread like wildfire, had a lot of attention. People flocked to Lincoln basically to see it and to also try and steal it. Late one evening, 2 thieves entered the cathedral and they hid inside while the tours were going on and waited for everyone to leave. When the cathedral emptied and everything, they took the chest with St Hughes's head and the gems and the gold inside and came running down Greystone steps. Unfortunately, one of them tripped and fell. So as he tripped and fell, the chest broke open, the gems and gold went everywhere, and St Hugh's head went rolling down, all the way down the steps and all the way to the bottom. So a lot of the time people are walking down here and feel something hit the back of their legs, and it's said to be, and people have seen a head on the floor, and they're saying that it's the head of St Hugh's reenacting that night of going down and smacking people on the legs and going from there. So
Wow.
that was that one. I'll go back to the other ones. So we've got 2 other spirits that are seen here. One of which is the convent of St Joseph's, which I think is halfway down. There's a woman coming out, literally walking from the left to the right to where a flower bed used to be. And basically the woman walks across and is seen laying the baby in the flower bed. Now it's believed that the baby is dead and the woman is laying the child to rest away from the convent. And she's seen. There's been reported of orbs and lights and noises coming from the archway, as well as, and I think we had it on the live one of the times, where any electrical devices, as soon as you pass through here, just switch off. Even whether it's got full power, half power, whatever, it'll just switch completely off You turn them back on and they work absolutely fine, but they turn themselves off, and so they don't know. Halfway down, you can see it, the crooked lamppost. You've got the crooked lamppost. There's a cleric wearing a three-peaked hat and a long coat. He's believed to have hung himself on the lamppost, and he stands under the cleric, stands under it. The cleric has never frightened anybody who has seen him. It is said he is there to protect and guide weary travellers on their way up and down the steps to and from the cathedral. So he's only there to guide you, not to scare anybody. So that's that.
Probably scare me if I saw him.
Yeah. So the fourth one, which were, again, I say, I remember bringing it up and finding out about it. Rachel was sensing, and she could smell burning, like flames, fire. She said that she could sense them. I'm sure it was like skin burning and could smell it and everything else. And she kept getting, I'm sure it was a pilot, or she can get in a plane. And in 23rd of July 1941, there was a Hampton AD 983 from the 44th Squadron for Area Waddington, was returning back from a mission in the Frisian Islands at about 4 AM, and just flying over the cathedral on the way back, and something happened, and they still didn't know what happened, and they couldn't ever find out what happened to it. But the bomber fell out of control and crashed straight down into the middle of these steps and above this archway as well. There were the full crew of 4 sadly lost their lives, as well as a lady, a French mistress, who was trapped in the building to my left, called Miss Edie Fowler. She was a 49-year-old senior French mistress, and she was burnt. And sometimes you can smell the burning smell of flesh, and also a cry of help from a lady.
Aww.
Sometimes heard. So, do you want to carry on, or do you want to have a little bit of a call out?
Shall we just do a 5-minute call out here, guys, and then do a part 2 another time? What does everybody reckon? Or have you had enough of us tonight? Did have a flashy ball, but I don't know where it's gone. It's in here somewhere. There we go. What's everybody reckon? Have you had enough for tonight?
Done an hour and a half.
We've got some other arches to show you, some other Roman remains to show you. There's the part 2, there's loads of stuff, history, Roman history. So yeah, I think people are wanting us to just do a little bit of a call out.
Okie dokie. So,
Stick that out.
we'll try and put it on.
Okay. Yeah. Don't let it roll.
Right, so it's staying there in the crevice. So I'll put spirit talker on as well. And we'll see. That went off and went back on.
It did, yeah. Let's reset.
So, calling out to the spirits of the Greystone Steps, calling to the cleric that stands there underneath where he hung himself on the lamppost, or the lady that comes across, or any other spirits that come here. Would you like to make yourself known? Come and talk to me using the device that I've got in my hand. Maybe give us some more history that we've not said tonight if you've been listening to us. There's a tiny little ball on the floor there. If you touch that, lights will appear, and it will show people at home that you're near us. You can come forward to us. Tradition. What was tradition? Was there a tradition that come down that happened on these stairs, on these steps?
Are there any of the lady spirits here who would like to come and talk to us as 2 ladies? Tell us why you're here with your baby, or tell us about what happened on that tragic night with the plane crash. We've got a box in this gentleman's hand and you can talk to us. Or there's a little ball on the floor that you can touch to let us know that you're here. She whispered, yeah.
Just made it right.
Don't be scared. We invite you to come and talk to us.
I will Sherry if it rolls them off. Although I can't run up the hill very fast.
Come on, come and touch this ball here. Someone touched it a second ago, because it did go off, and then it went, and then you touched it. He was intrigued. Come and touch that ball again.
Sounded like someone walking. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Can you give me your name so I know who I'm talking to? I'm Adam. This is Lisa, and apologise, Lou.
Yeah, Lou.
Hello. You come forward to talk to us. Like I say, we come meaning no harm.
It does sound like there's somebody walking behind us, doesn't there?
Yeah, unless it's the rain.
Unless it's rain, but
It's very heavy rain, isn't it?
weird.
Can you give me your name, whoever I'm talking to? Twins. You're twins. Can you give me your names then? Are you male or female? Maybe you can talk to us. Tell us anything you like. Not going to be here long. Talking about the history of this great city.
Can the gentleman who stands under the lamppost, can he show himself to guide us tonight? Yes, I'm here.
Yes, I'm here.
Thank
Keep
you.
talking, Lise.
Do you want to show yourself to us?
Is there anything that we've got to be wary of? Anybody that we need to look out for? Is that what you do? Look out for the passers-by. You have many regrets. Maybe you want to tell us. Maybe we can help. Tell us what you regret. Thank you very much.
Wow, look at that.
Thank you for touching that, guy. Can you please tell me your name? It's one thing that I couldn't find on the history of your name.
Mandy's saying there's a man at the bottom lamppost with his hand on it.
Is it the bottom one post? Paddy. Okay.
Thank you so much for doing that, Ball. Can you do it again for us, please? That's fantastic, letting us know that you're here. Please touch it again.
Did you not hear that?
Yeah,
Did you hear
I
it?
heard it.
No, I didn't hear it, but I've not got very good hearing.
Literally as I was stood in that archway. Was that your sign because we're asking you to do something you've already done? We do apologise, but it's the only way that we can interact with
lost
you
Mandy's
and talk
comment.
to you.
There's a woman behind you with a dark cloak on. What behind us, Mandy? Let's just turn you round.
That's intriguing.
Oh, there's actually somebody coming, so we're just going to move across and then turn the camera. So let me show you this lamp, proper lamp, I think, even though it's got a light bulb in it, not gas.
This morning there's a tiny little flashy ball down there. I don't want you to trip and go. Yeah. You keep to the left, it should be fine.
Something grabbed my ankle last week.
Really?
Yeah. I was picking a stone out my shoe and something grabbed me in the back of the ankle.
Wow.
Wow.
Did you hear that, guys? Passerby just gone past and she got grabbed on her ankle last week walking down the steps. She's very brave walking down there on her own. Yes, Lisa.
Children around you.
So this way. So take some screenies, guys, just in case.
Come and talk to us.
Just give it another 5 minutes and then... Whoever grabbed that lady's ankle last week, do you want to grab one of... Not my ankle, I've got ankle anxiety. Grab this gentleman's ankle, or the lady who's smaller than me.
Give you permission to come and to touch me? Just to indicate whereabouts you are, if you're near me. You've got the gentleman that's down the bottom there, on next to that lamppost. Can you come forward and talk to us? Again, tell us your name, unless it was your name that you gave us, which was Paddy. More than welcome to come towards us. The lady in the black cloak.
Ball.
Ball.
Thank you so much, spirits.
And that is actually in a groove in between the steps.
There's no wind tonight when it's been raining, but I keep thinking there's somebody behind me now. Thank you for doing that. That's brilliant. If you move away from that ball, we can ask you some questions. If you move away and stop it flashing, thank you. So are you one of the ladies who are on these stairs? If you are, what was that?
Tap behind you. Ridicule.
If you're one of the ladies who are on these steps, can you make that ball flash? If you're a gentleman who's on the stairs, thank you. So you're a gentleman. Thank you so much for communicating with us.
If it's the gentleman that hung himself, can you touch that ball, please? Or if it is another gentleman. And the gentleman, if it's you that hung yourself, the cleric.
Yeah, I can hear footsteps. If the gentleman had preferred to talk to us as ladies, trying to reconnect. There we go, we're back. Sorry, guys. If you're the gentleman and you want to speak to the ladies instead, can you flash that ball for me now, please? Come on, we know you can do it.
I had one eye.
I had one eye. What a strange thing to come out. If you had one eye, can you touch it? It's definitely got a... It's the man. He's moved from the lamppost coming up towards you, Mandy said.
Thank you, Mandy. So the gentleman that was at that bottom lamppost, we're being told it's you that's come forward to us. If that's correct, can you flash that ball? Bodies below.
Ooh. And there would be lots of bodies below.
Come talk to us. If you'd like to only talk to Lisa and Lou,
Well,
the ladies that are here.
Thanks, Jan. I said if you had only one eye, can you touch it, please? I meant the ball, not the eye.
If you'd only like to talk to the ladies, and may see me as a threat.
Oh, I thought you were
Oh,
a big
God.
ghost then. Oh, Louisa's just put her umbrella up and I nearly jumped down the stairs.
Started chucking it down to put it up.
Me and Adam were both off then and we're ghost hunters. Wow. Sorry, guys. Not bringing you again.
Right, please come forward to us. I'm not going to be here for long. Scary. What that was.
That
I know
was.
it was. Did it scare you? If it did, touch that ball for me.
You'll hear the rain now, guys, because it's absolutely tipping it down again. I think we need to convince Rachel to come and do another hunt here, don't we? It's definitely something. No, I heard a whistle. We didn't whistle. Oh, as you did that, the flashy ball. There's definitely somebody there, Adam, in that archway or just hiding. I can feel that they are. Thank you so much for doing that. Were you the person who whistled? Is that why you set the ball off? Can you do that again for me, please?
use all your energy. You can take mine and use mine. I'm holding the device now that you'll be able to see it. See yourself if you come forward.
It'd be amazing if you could push that ball all the way down the stairs. Did you hear something behind us there?
Definitely something. Have I heard you whistle? You think you can copy me if I do it again? Or maybe if you can understand me whistling. Well, thank you ever so much, whoever it was. We'll come and visit you again and come and talk to you. Just before we go, do you think you can touch that ball again and make them lights flash for me?
Thank you. Oh
ever so
my
much.
God, on demand.
Thank you ever so much. That is fantastic. Well, thank you ever so
Show
much.
you
I'm going to
both.
leave you in peace now. Why have I just seen a shadow come past here?
I did that. Was it that?
No, because that was going the other way. That was this way.
She's scared. Bless her.
Can't hurt
Thank
you.
you very, very much.
It was just like,
Wow, that was really
instant.
cool. Well, thank you so much, guys, for sticking with us tonight. I know it's been a bit of a nightmare. We're going to come again in the summer when we can wear t-shirts and do it all again, so you can hear us properly, so that you can see it all again and everything that we haven't got around to, because there's so much history in Lincoln that we haven't done.
Right. We're keeping him with us, and we'll go back up to the cathedral and have a look at the cathedral one last time.
We can do, yeah, if everybody wants to stick with us. If not, good night and thank you for being with us. We've just got to walk back up this hill now. I might have to give it to Adam, because you're going to just not hear anything apart from me heavy breathing. Let me unplug that for a minute. There you go. Well, I just slowly die in the background.
All right.
Like,
Yeah. And flash ball up as well. Thank you very much. Right. Yeah, because like big lad like me's not going to get worn out coming up here. So I hope you've enjoyed it, guys. Again, apologies for the microphones and the sound and everything else. We will come back and do a second part. So I enjoyed it. Did you?
I've loved it. It's just been difficult with the sound and the weather and noisy pubs and people. Don't talk to me, I can't speak. I'm only halfway up.
Don't be scared. It's breathers that you should be frightened of, not spirits. Exactly. Exactly. Excuse me.
I'm walking down there and had my ankle down. Why is she walking down there on the
Probably the only times you can, where's you could go. Because I've walked round down that bit and go back up the steps. It's a long way round, I can tell you. What were you now? What's up with you?
to the gym more, well, not more often. I need to actually go to a gym.
Excuse me, guys, sorry. It is very steep. Look, they're leaving me, look. That is, I believe it's a person. Thank you guys. Some great comments. Oh, yeah. There's got another archway over there that you might be able to see.
Gate arch and some other arch. We'll do them next time.
Yeah.
We'll start here.
Yeah, we'll start at this point. Again, you can't really see it, which is annoying because it looks so beautiful.
It's actually under cloud.
Yeah, so you can't see it.
How low the cloud is, it's all under cloud tonight.
Bear with, I need to change hands. That's better.
The same with us, all we get.
We'll walk round. We'll to the front. I know you're dying, Lisa, but
I'm alright now, we're covered now. No one flat.
well, the wind's picking up, so the brolly might disappear in a minute, or I might go with it.
We'll go with it. Having poppins.
So yeah, I know you can't see it, guys, but if anybody wants to visit Lincoln, and I've not done it for a while, I will be doing it again soon. The castle and cathedral.
They're well worth a visit. The castle
Yeah.
particularly because it's got, we didn't even touch on most of that history tonight. With
No.
the jail and everything that's in it. And you can still go round that.
Yeah, I think that's again, it's fairly similar to the cathedral, where it's you can pay for it on the day, but I think if it's something where you're going to be coming quite regularly, I think it's something like £45 for the whole year, and basically every time you come, you can just keep coming and coming and coming, and I think I've got a funny feeling it's something like 17 quid each time, so you only have to come sort of 2 or 3 times for it to be well worth the yearly price. I might be wrong, and I might be thinking of the cathedral
No,
bit, but
that's right. I think that's what it did say. £17 just for in normal.
he used to race my family up that hill every time we went. I walked. I don't know who that comment was. Bear with me. Let me find that comment.
Whoever it was,
Donna.
he to be in the Olympics.
I walked the fastest, so I always won. Donna Neal. Wow.
I mean, Steep Hill, we'll do that next time as well, because Steep Hill, you literally have to walk
Still,
that, don't you?
yeah. Steep hill is as it sounds. Steep hill. So, all right, guys. We've come to the archways, and we're coming round to the front. Is it the front or is it the rear of the cathedral? I feel this is the front, isn't it?
Bishop Grotesque University, who is affiliated with the cathedral,
Yeah.
and they do all their graduations and matriculation ceremonies.
Can't really see it, guys, but I'm pointing you at it, but all you're seeing is darkness, so we'll come through the archways and take a little bit of a breather underneath the archways. So here we are, the stunning archways, look. It could be called Stupidly Steep Hill, yeah. So where's my torch? Let's see if I can put some sort of light onto it. So there you go, guys. So that bit's up in the clouds, you can't really see that much.
It's higher than the pyramids of Giza when it was built.
That's that. So, we'll say a good night for... Oh, where were we? Shining it straight in Lisa's face. So, thank you. Say goodbye. Oh look, she's even got the Lisa wave. Bless you. Right, you can't see a thing.
Well, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Sorry it's been a bit chaotic. We will do it again when it's dry.
We'll redo what you couldn't hear at the start if you're interested. If you do like what you're seeing, this is a little bit like what they do on Supporters, but even funnier. Ron and Rachel have been out today and they're fantastic. If you do want to join our Supporters, it's £3.49 a month, less than a cup of coffee. You click, I can never remember, it's a little shield in the
There's
corner.
a shield or
Square.
yeah, white square with black dots or something like that.
Click on that, it'll put you as a supporter, but please also message the page. They will put you on the right pages, the content pages, the healthy eating pages, the friendship pages. The main team are out tomorrow. Tomorrow? What day are we on? Yeah,
Friday. Yeah.
So they'll be out. Rachel will be out with the team tomorrow.
Great location.
Yeah, brilliant location. One of my favourites to go into tomorrow. So don't miss that. They'll be live at 9:30 tomorrow.
Yeah.
But thank you everybody for bearing with us. And good night from me.
See.
Yeah.
There we go.
Good night from me, guys. Right, see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.